It's time to dad.
Welcome, everybody. We are here with Time to Dad Christmas edition. We got the Jays, Josh, Jason, Joe, and then Nick here. Everybody's got their Christmas spirit on.
Wait, hold on. I can't read that.
What was it?
We got
Let me
some
read it real quick.
Forgot the other reindeer. Let's get blitzing. I love it, Josh. Listen, it's a great time of year. It's really, personally my favorite time of year. I don't think there's a more stressful but exciting and fun, eventful of the season. I don't know about you guys, but we're excited for what we got going on, family parties and everything, work parties, all the good stuff. Where crazy things happen like random blow up dolls, right, Jason? Christmas holidays.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, why are they messaging in the Facebook chat? And I look over and look what's there.
I bet Alex is seeing these messages. He's like, what the hell?
For those of you that can't see what we're talking about, there's adult material in our Facebook chat for the Dad Podcast.
Yeah, this might not be the most kid-friendly Christmas party.
Yeah. No, we do have a couple topics in here that could sway a little bit towards things the little ones might not hear. Not that they're inappropriate, but just to keep the holiday spirit alive, maybe tune out of this one if the kids are in the car and pop back in later and listen to it. We just don't want to upset anyone. So, anyways, yeah, guys, happy holidays. I hope this is a fun episode. Where do you guys want to start? I think there's a multitude of topics we could start with. Anyone have a favorite they want to roll with?
I'm thinking like the movies, man. Like, because there's so many classic movies, man. Like, what's the one movie you start with every year to kick off the holiday season? Like,
oh, I don't start with it though. But I live for the 24-hour marathon.
Yes, yeah.
I will watch that shit till I am falling asleep on the couch and can't even keep my eyes open and smack anybody's hand who tries to change the channel. I don't know what it is about that movie, man. It's just it's like so classic American Christmas for me.
Yeah,
dude, it so is, man. From the goofy ass pajamas that grandma or great grandma gives you to the getting a BB gun and shooting it at shit you shouldn't and blasting your eye out. I mean, we didn't have white Christmases like they did normally, but yeah, dude, that movie is like, if we could just go back to that, I would be in heaven, man.
Oh yeah, simpler times, man. Simpler times.
Reading in the newspaper, right? About the Bears, right? The next day or something, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Going out to dinner,
exactly.
Just the eating the
dude, window shopping. Yep. Like, who the hell window shops anymore?
So funny story about that movie. So do you know the end scene to where like they end up eating Christmas dinner at the Chinese restaurant?
Yeah.
So
no. La.
So the scene to where they bring out was that the duck or the goose? Okay, so no one told the actress that's playing the mom that it was going to be a real cooked goose.
So that was legit reaction.
Still on. So that reaction of hers was legit because when they cut the head off, that's a legit reaction because they didn't want her to know.
That's funny, man.
So it's just
fun
such
fact.
classic.
I love little random fun facts like that about stuff.
Oh, I think it was on like that series was on Netflix. The movies, the holiday movies that made us, or something like that. I think it was on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
So,
all right. So, is that your vote too, Josh?
Man, actually, mine is more the. So I've actually got two, and it's because I got kids. So mine personally is Christmas vacation.
Yeah, that's a close
because
second.
every year when I worked in the ER, we had a party over at the doc's house to kick off the holiday season. And he had this massive, like 200-inch inflatable screen, and he would project it on, and we would just get hammered. But then for my kids, it's a Muppets Christmas Carol.
Good.
Like we watch that like nonstop.
Yeah.
Of course, Michael Caine's an amazing actor, anyway. So, that's our vote.
Joe.
I am my son's 2.5, so we haven't gotten into the kids' Christmas movies really yet. This is the first time he's really starting to watch stuff this year. sure we'll get a few, but I am a huge fan of Elf, as you can tell the shirt I am wearing. I'm a Will Ferrell fan. I think he is just, you know,
You can't go wrong with Will Ferrell.
I would love to friggin' hang out with that guy. I think he, just have a good time, just sit there and talk to him. He's so doofy and funny at the same time. And movie's just awesome. I love it. Everything about it.
So fun fact about that movie. Do you know the scene to where he's like making his way around New York? You know, he's like hopping across the crosswalk and he's chewing the gum off. That's all real. Like, that wasn't planned. They just followed him around and people thought he was nuts. And that's why those reactions you see from people in the streets, that's genuine. The gum they pulled off the railing to chew was actual
like
gum.
A Rotten Tomatoes editor or something. Where do you find this crap?
I think it was on those movies that made us. And plus, I just read. I go down the rabbit hole and stuff. I start reading. It's my ADHD, man. So
yeah.
But yeah, how about you, Jason?
So I have very much. So I have I want to go around the circle because I get to acknowledge each one of them. And so my thing, I feel like, I don't know where it was lost in translation, but there's a segment, and it's more than any other Christmas movie to me, that like a Christmas Story will actually like divert, where either like you really really love it and it's your thing, and that movie is like the one that you can watch over and over and over again, or you're just like, I don't really understand that film, and then you like go in the other direction. You don't like, there's people that don't like that movie, and I guess between the two, I like the movie, but I always hear on the radio every year how people have a problem with that film, but I'll leave that one alone. I like that movie. And then I'll go to Christmas Vacation and I'll say that was hands down like my vote. That was it. And I was just that like Josh stole it. So I'm just going to move on from that as well and just say, okay, thank you. Like that was it. Josh won this discussion. So that's the best Christmas. That's the best Christmas movie ever made. It's not close, but we'll move on from that and we'll talk about the also rans. But then he said Muppet Christmas Carol, which really hit me hard because I did like last night, and he's less than 2, Joe. So he watched very little, but there was a point when Russell, like, I put it on because I love that movie, and my wife doesn't like Muppets, so there's a weird disconnect there. But like he was enjoying it. He usually will only watch certain cartoons and even get into it, and he's too young to get it. But he was enjoying the Muppets, and that was a nice moment for us. And then for me. Right, the moment for him was I think, yeah, that's fair, Joe. Okay, all right. But my favorite beyond those is It's a Wonderful Life, because that's just hits a certain note for me, and I love the irony of it because I spent a long time and plugged to something that I don't even think exists in the media sphere anymore, but I used to do a show on the radio in New Hampshire a long time ago, and it was at Everlasting at the Movie World, and I would pick really really old movies and I would do like a deep dive hour-long episode, and it was just me, like on AM radio. But I love Jimmy Stewart, and I love the irony of that film because that was actually filmed during a heat wave. And all those scenes where they're supposed to be freezing and in snow, and it's black and white, so whatever. But it was sweltering heat, like that. They were faking all of that. They were not cold at all. So because that was the time that it was, and that was one of his first movies that he really did after coming back from World War II and serving our country, which was kind of cool too. But I love It's a Wonderful Life, even though it's really long, and I don't think that most people any younger than us as like a cutoff age would have any like value in or understand. That's a great movie. That's my favorite.
Saw something really cool with that, Jason. You'll probably appreciate it. It was with Jimmy Stewart. I think when he was at the bar and he was like, he was crying, and at the scene right in the movie, and part of that wasn't staged. It wasn't supposed to happen. Is they sat there at the bar and he went to pray, and supposedly he started thinking about his World War II and some of the stories and stuff from that. And he started crying. It wasn't part of the movie, but they kept it because of how impactful it was in the scene. I thought that was pretty interesting because I think that's like a lost kind of listen, it's a lost generation, again, and hopefully we don't have to come back to that. Unfortunately, I think, stuff, not to go away from the Christmas here, but I'm sure if your grandparents, like my grandfather was World War II, and, it's a lot of the actors that, like you said, Jimmy Stewart and stuff that were in that. I think that's something you don't get back, and you can't bring some of that back. And it is a great movie. It's a great movie too. But
so this came up in our chat earlier since we're talking about movies, but we were scrolling through movies because my wife and I have seen everything under the sun, and our son is pretty picky. So we were looking at like newer Christmas movies, and I got super annoyed that like every movie there's divorce in the family now for a lot of the newer holiday movies, which was kind of frustrating. Now go ahead.
No, I was about to say, actually, I just stumbled across one that I completely forgot about. It's not about divorce. Well, the father passed away. He was a firefighter, and apparently he died in a house fire. Okay. It's a Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah.
It's got Kurt Russell playing as Santa. It's actually pretty good. The kids, my kids loved it. But yeah, it is kind of crappy how a lot of these holiday movies do go down that divorced dad route. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. So we talked about it, right? So there's a couple. There's the few that are like Jack Frost, if you guys know that, not the horror version of Jack Frost, but the regular Jack Frost. Who is that? Michael Keaton, I think, maybe.
Michael Keaton, yeah. He dies in a car accident.
So there's still like sympathetic, like, the dad's not around type where it's like that, and then there's the polar opposite where dad's not around because the parents are divorced. I thought it was interesting that the trend seemed to be swinging towards like divorced families and things like that. And I'm like, well, do I watch this with Emerson? Because he's almost 5. So he would, he doesn't know what divorce is, but he would understand that, dad's not around, doesn't live with mom, doesn't live with the family. So I was kind of like torn, like, do we even try to like watch this? Type thing.
Well, have you ever thought about
movies? It's just that, right? Like it's kind of like Disney movies when they always kill like like a big character, like a mom or something. It's to capture emotion. It's to grab emotion because if you capture the emotions of a child or even us, and if that's going on in their life, well, now they feel like they're part of the movie, and I think that's probably a big part. And unfortunately,
I guess I see that. I just see the holidays as like super. I mean, if it's not like super cheery, like getting me in the mood to like give my millions of dollars away to anybody and everybody that needs it, like I won't watch it. Like that's the kind of holiday movie I got. Like it's got to inspire me to be like cheery and shit, right? To watch it. So maybe that's just my bias there. I just thought it was interesting that it seemed like that weird swing. But that's an interesting point of view though, that you're saying that I mean, I don't know the percentage now, but I know there's a huge percentage of families that have been through divorce, much greater than when we were all growing up, right?
Sure.
So that's an interesting.
I guess you can look at it this way, right? Like let's look at it from a child that has not had divorced parents, and they watch the movie and they sit there and they go, well, this is pretty cool. My parents are not divorced. I still get to celebrate as Christmas. My Christmas is not like that. They can enjoy the movie. But now a child that did come from a divorced parents, maybe that doesn't see mom or dad for the holidays, they can now relate. And they feel that it makes them feel cheery that, hey, that movie still had a good turnout. It's usually a happy ending.
It's almost, Joe, it's almost like they're trying to bring in a wider audience in their marketing to make more money. It's almost like they're trying to hit both sides of the aisle. So I would say
I just can't watch it.
No, but here's my thought on it, and it's not. I don't think it's sinister. I don't think we have to go down that side of it. But just the 3 movies, and I did put the visual here that we had in the chat originally with the Santa Claus and what's the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Jingle All the Way, and then Elf.
Oh, is that the one with the little action figure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen that forever.
I think those three dads being in a broken home divorced scenario in all 3 circumstances. I think creatively, and when you're writing the film, to have the unhinged nature of those characters individually to be as like quirky and crazy and desperate as they are, they have to be kind of disconnected from a typical family unit. I think it gives them the freedom to be a quirky, crazy, deranged character, or however you want to like work it in at that point, like very desperate in the Jingle All the Way circumstance, or like pretty like at the end of his rope, or not in every way in with Tim Allen in Santa Claus. Like he was going down a dark path and was then like saved by some ridiculousness to become Santa Claus at that point. Like he was divorced and just kind of partying or whatever, not seeing his kids. So I think that's like, yeah, you want them divorced because it's going to hit a certain segment. Writing of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then what about Die Hard and Lethal Weapon? Because those are Christmas movies.
Yeah. I'm with it.
It depends,
Yeah.
man. There's a great debate going on about that.
Yeah, I do see that all the time. Is it or is it not?
Yeah.
I think it's
They're like, you have to. It's the meme
party.
where you have to get rid of one of the holiday movies, and it's always Die Hard's in there, and then like 3 other actual classic holiday movies. There's so much shit in the comments.
Transcendent.
Did y'all see the trailer remake for Home Alone, to where it made it seem like it was like a horror flick?
No.
It's absolutely hysterical. Like it's like they came into his house and he's making their lives a living hell. It is absolutely hysterical.
Well, that's just like the music you put behind a scene, because there was something on Instagram where it was a kung fu movie with Jackie Chan, but they put like sexy porn music behind it, and it looked like something very different when they're like approaching each other for a fight. So there's that's, you can set the mood. A score makes a film and a scene, and nothing works in a movie without a good score in that way. But yeah.
So Nick, have you ever thought about going old school with your kid and maybe going with the old? I don't know if you remember these, but the Rankin Bass.
The Talking Bass
claymation series.
Oh no! I don't recall that.
No, it's called. So the creators were called Rankin and Bass, and they were the ones who did the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation.
Oh, we watched those.
Yeah, and then like they did Frosty and the Snowman. They did Santa's
if I'm being honest though, I think I think like my son gets a little weirded out because you watch something like the new modern like animated Grinch, right?
Yeah.
And then you contrast that with the old school claymation. And I think he honestly gets a little weirded out when we transition back to those really old classic, like Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph. He's kind of like, what the hell is this?
Is there like a conspiracy theory to that, like where there's a the claymation movies?
Wrong episode, Jason. Wrong episode.
But they had a certain effect. There's something there. There's something weird with those clay like that. So you're saying that one group made all of those types of movies? Yeah.
So it was Rankin Bass and actually one of them just passed away here recently. They lived for a while. But yeah, they made Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa's Come to Town, Return of Frosty Snowman. They made all those claymation ones. They're like holiday based. They made them. So,
but that's no different than like modern day Disney, Pixar. I mean,
there was
still have like this weird conglomerate of
little drummer boy. There was a vibe there, but how does that work? Like, I don't even understand how they made that like claymation. I don't understand the science of that.
Stop motion.
Okay, it's stop motion.
So it's literally thousands and thousands of still images that are put together on a reel at a certain FPS or whatever they measure it in to make it play as if it's animated.
That's wild.
They actually did a lot of it in Star Wars. Like in the original Star Wars, like the scene to where you see the Tauntaun running across Tundra with Luke on its back, that's claymation.
Crazy what they did.
Tauntaun is claymation?
Absolutely insane. That's absolutely
the Tauntaun is claymation. Yeah,
but he gets weird.
So-
He gets weirded out, man. When it comes to like modern animation versus like the classic claymation type stuff. It just happened this year. Like up until last year, we could have thrown just about any Christmas movie that had Santa or fucking reindeers or a talking snowman, and he'd watch it. But this year, he's just like Rudolph came on, and we were like, all right, we're gonna watch Rudolph. It was on, I don't know, Hallmark Channel, whichever one plays all the holiday stuff. But we're like, we're gonna watch this, and like he put up a huge stink about it, and I was just kind of like, whoa, like what the hell? And that's the only conclusion I can draw is that just the animation of the older style stuff is not as stimulating to him as the new like modern cutting edge animation.
Yeah.
See, I like all that old school stuff. What about Arthur Christmas? Has you watched that?
Arthur Christmas?
So it's essentially about Santa Claus is getting older and he's got two sons, and there's the older son which they're expecting to take over. It's kind of cool because especially if your son liked the Disney short Prep and Landing, these elves in there are kind of like the Prep and Landing elves. So like special service elves, and they're tactical and all that stuff. Yeah. But then the unexpecting son, who's kind of the goofball, ends up being the new Santa, and so it's pretty good. Like it's got Hugh, the guy who played his house, Hugh Laurie. Is that his name? The guy who plays his house is the voice of one of the characters.
I know the guy you're talking about, but I don't know his name. Yeah. So
okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's actually it's a good one. My kids like it. We
do you guys like on the actual holiday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? Do you watch movies or you out and about with families? Like, what's like your actual like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, traditions, any stuff like that? Do you always watch movies?
So
or not?
So for us, like Christmas Eve is kind of busy, so we'll go down. We'll go back to East Texas. We'll go to my grandma's farm. And the kids will bake cookies with her during the day, and then we usually have Christmas dinner around 5.
Like full day around it.
Yeah, it's like a full day, and they'll run around the farm. And of course, my dad always has to go feed the cows on Christmas Eve, so he takes the kids to go feed the cows in the tractor and
America.
And then
we'll do
Christmas dinner.
I know, right? Yeah.
And then we'll do Christmas dinner, and then we'll open gifts, and then usually we'll drive back home. Come on, man. Come on out.
That's
serious. Awesome. And then we'll drive home, and then Christmas Day, we do Christmas Day here. We don't go anywhere. Everyone comes to us. Her family comes
that was Christmas Eve. So you make a whole day out of Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that was Christmas Eve. Yeah. So, and then the kids usually fall asleep on the way back home, so we just put them in their beds. Christmas Day, we're here. We don't go anywhere. We'll watch movies. We kind of do like a buffet, like all day. And usually what I'll do is I'll do a prime. This last year I did a prime rib, and I marinated it overnight, and then did a salt, pepper, garlic rub on it, and smoked it
a little butter
until it hit like internal temp like 115. And then I did a hard sear where it's nice and crusty.
Over here.
Oh man!
Was it the cow from the farm the day before, or was it?
No, it wasn't.
You were feeding
it wasn't this year.
Get those last couple of ounces in.
It wasn't this year, but it has been in the past. So Betsy sure tastes great today.
Keep eating.
Keep eating them.
That's cool.
I don't know. It's funny that you say that because my wife is so tired of dogs, and I'm tired of dogs. She has discovered miniature Highland cows.
Oh God! Shoot!
And they're
end
like
your life now.
They only.
It's
I know.
terrible.
And she's like, oh,
you're gonna start getting Facebook messages and texts of, "Oh, look how cute they are. We should get one."
But get this, they qualify for ag exemption.
Yeah, they
so we
do.
can put them on our property we have now. They qualify for ag exemption.
They qualify as those, and mini horses, I believe, qualify as support animals.
But mini horses are mean as hell.
Well, I know, but I'm never gonna fucking own one.
Wait, so
I like my wood floors too much.
You were just talking about, Josh. That's the tax exemption that you could write off a portion of your taxes. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Yeah. It's ag exemption because it's like, I forget what the ratio is of cows per acre, but if we got one of those mini cows, we could actually keep here in our house in town and get an ag exemption.
Is that a Texas thing, or is that a?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, you'll find it in like a lot of your farming and cattle
So
states.
what about Long Island, New York, where
I don't know.
Sport
I just know
animal,
this here in
man.
Texas.
Sport animal.
Yeah, on your balcony.
We can only have chickens here.
Yeah. But anyways, back on topic. But but that's what our day consists of. And we just kind of have an ongoing buffet like all day, and we just
Food
eat and
coma.
watch movies, watch whatever games are on, because I know there's some NBA games
Do you
on.
think-
So that's just.
Do you think mini horses are angry because they have a similar complex to like a short person, and they're mad
Napoleon
that they're not
complex, man.
big? They're not big horses
Well,
because you said they're like angry.
Well, I mean, how,
Or do they
I mean, how would you
conceptualize
feel
their
if you-
size in that way, or are they
And
just
they're like
mad?
little kids,
They're just
man.
mad
They're
because
just they
humans
just
have
bottle it all up.
domesticated them, and they're just pissy, or are they just mad?
well,
because
I think
they're
it's
not
kind of.
big horses?
I think it goes along the lines
Does
of
it
like
know
like a
it's not a
Chihuahua.
big horse,
It's
though?
always
If it's
pissed.
not
what I'm
around
talking-
other
that's
big
what I want to
horses?
know. That's what I'm asking you.
Well, I mean, how pissed would you be if your transmission was dragging the ground anytime you took a piss? You know, and your legs are only like.
So they really are.
A foot
They
long.
are mad at the humans.
You
the
say
humans that-
transmission like the
Yeah.
horse is hopping around and it's like a pogo stick.
Mhm.
I get the analogy, but in my head, I'm like,
Are they like
what does that
dachshunds?
have to do with the transmission?
They're
Uh-huh.
like dachshunds and like
Well, I
their,
mean-
their
well,
midsection
I mean-
close
I mean,
to the ground. Is that what we're talking about? Like their undercarriage is like scraping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
they're like a
they're- yeah,
wiener
man,
dog.
they're
like a
They're
dachshund.
Like a
longer
horse,
than they
yeah.
are like height to length.
Really?
ratio.
Mm.
Yeah,
But fuck those
Look-
Highland
look 'em
cows,
up.
man,
I gotta look
and the
into
baby
these
cows.
I don't. No, man, I don't want a damn mini
My
horse.
wife's like,
That's
yeah,
what
if
you
we can move out of the country, I could charge so much if I could do mini photo sessions with them. And I have a
Yep.
friend that does it. And I'm like, yeah, what's your friend spend and feed a year on these furry
Yeah.
critters?
You move out there. There's nobody paying to come take a picture with your cute anomaly.
There is though. That's the
Yeah.
fucking crazy part. But I'm not crazy
Dude.
enough to go do that.
If you owned a little horse, little cow with one of those little old red farm trucks with a Christmas tree in the
You
back,
make
you can make a
thousands, dude.
killing
Thousands.
every holiday season. I see it not. I got friends
Dude,
that.
nostalgia's
really
coming
have-
back, man.
Oh yeah, Dude, I've got a buddy. He's got a 1952 Ford red pickup truck. It doesn't have an engine. It doesn't have a
It
transmission.
just sits
He
there.
hauls around in a trailer, and he hauls it up to where the photo shoot's at, dumps it, leaves it there for hours, comes back and picks it up. It doesn't have an engine or a transmission. I think he paid like $1,500 for it,
That's funny.
and he's made thousands off of it.
I've made my wife they do these like styled shoots. Sorry to get off topic, but speaking of that, a lot of photographers do styled shoots where they do these like over the top things, and it's sometimes it's staged, and it's about like building your skill set and your portfolio, but it's also about exposing local venues, local suppliers, things like that. But they get together and they do this like frou-frou photo shoot. And I made this huge like octagonal why is the word escaping me? Like almost like altar for at the head of a wedding where the bride and groom meet. Yeah. And she's had like friends that saw what I made and they're like, you could charge people thousands of freaking dollars to either make this or you can make it and rent it out. And I'm not trying to do that bullshit. But it's kind of crazy what people will pay for when it comes to the photography industry and what they want pictures with or of or beside.
Arches, is that a thing by you guys? Like people like the arches with balloons? No? Okay.
Well, any kind of like rustic anything is huge in Virginia right now. Okay. So people are getting married in old barns at vineyards.
It can be
anything that has like old world charm is like huge right now.
Yeah, that was big here too. But like this, like you'll go to like a baby shower and they do like a blue balloon arch, blue and white balloon arches.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah,
$350. You know,
for $10 worth of balloons and some helium,
or free, and literally like all of your employees for hours on end. I've worked at companies where we did that.
That was my goddamn wedding.
Yeah.
My wife was like, "We need all this shit," and I'm like, "Yeah, but
hours.
We're broke as fuck. We did so much shit DIY, and I was like, oh my god,
popping balloons, trying to set that shit up. That that was a lot of work to make one of those.
Yeah.
No thanks. Well, for us, I guess I'll get us back off the derail.
Yeah.
But for us, we because it was my fault to begin with. So every Christmas Eve, most of my dad's side of the family is in like upstate New York area. So around Christmas time, we usually do stuff with my mom's side of the family. And so Christmas Eve, we'll have a get together for a few hours. We kind of rotate whose house it's going to be at. But we get all the kids together, all the grandkids, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, all that, on her side of the family. And we'll get together and we do, we used to do like a full blown gift exchange. Now we just kind of do a gift bag for each kid. Cause there's so many grandkids and cousins and blah, blah, that it gets crazy. So we'll do that. We'll do that Christmas Eve. We'll come home, get everything prepped for Christmas Day, pass out. And then we'll wake up and we pretty much, we spend the morning at our house. And then, towards the afternoon, we'll mosey over to my mom's right down the street, and my sister and her husband and their 2 boys will come over, and we do like kind of like a second Christmas at her house. So she can hang out with the grandkids and see everybody, and they get a kick out of it because she way overdoes it with the stuff she gets the boys. So, but then our daughter's in Roanoke this year, so she's going to head back to Richmond and spend a couple days with us, which will be nice, with her boyfriend, which is a whole nother can of worms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, and from what Jen's mom has told me, like, he takes good care of Lily. They came down for Thanksgiving, and he's a good kid, but now we're like, well, we only have one guest bedroom, so like, obviously they're not sharing a fucking bedroom under my roof at 18, almost 9. Actually, I think he's already 19. So we're still trying to figure out how the hell that's going to work. But I mean, we try to keep it pretty simple and not do a whole.
What's the
whole
theory
lot of
there? Can we step back? I don't have daughters. I'm so glad. Bro, I don't ever. What's the theory
what did
there?
You do at
so when they're in your
19?
house, bad things. So
exactly.
What's the theory here, Nick? Like, by not allowing it that one night of the year, are you somehow?
Well, it's not one night. That's the thing. That's the thing. They're gonna. No, I don't. She's still working on when they're gonna come in, but it'll be a few days. It's just I don't know. I guess the way I was raised is I was no girl ever stayed at my house till I was out of the house, right? And so I'm kind of the same way, and I guess it's a respect thing for me. If she was, maybe 22, 23, somewhere in her 20s, maybe it's a little bit different of a story. But her being 18 and him being 19, I'm just like, you're not staying in the same room together.
I agree with that, staying in the same room, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't have a daughter and not having one, it looks like, either. But yeah, like you said, I don't know, what did you do at 18, 19? And if not, what would you try to do? And I think that's more along the lines too, is, listen, anytime, any way is right. I think any way as a parent that you can keep things from happening that are going to happen, but lessen it. That's kind of our
right. I don't want to openly condone it, is the thing. If that happens at their apartment where they're living, so be it. Whatever. Our daughter is hopefully being smart, but in my house, I find it inappropriate at that age. So
it's all fair and.
And I know there's other parents that will just say it's whatever. Yeah, no, I completely agree. But for me, it comes down to a traditional thing and a respect thing for me. I don't think asking them to separate themselves for a couple nights is asking too much under my roof.
No. And plus, also, you can judge what quality of guy that he is by, he's like, I don't expect us to share a room. would automatically sleep on the
I'm not gonna
couch.
fucking
And
tell
to
them.
me,
They're just gonna show up, and I'll be like, "Yeah, there's your air mattress over there."
Why is it not blowing up? Oh, sorry, that doesn't work. Sucks for you.
Yeah, I'm like, well, fucking, I got a pump over there for you. It's a manual one.
Yeah, you hand him an air mattress. You hand her a chastity belt.
Yeah.
You know, just these
No,
are y'all's until you leave.
I mean,
you know,
she's a good kid, and she's smart, and I mean, her mom has had that conversation with her multiple times, right? Because she's 19. Jen and I are how old are we? 37, 38. So Jen has had that conversation about, you know, how big of a struggle it can be if there's an accident or you have an unplanned event. So, you know, Lily's learning life lessons right now. I just hope that's not one she learns at that age. So hopefully she's being smart.
No.
Sure.
No. Jason, what's your plans, man?
To not have daughters. That's plan one.
Yeah. See, there you go, man. When I found out we were having a boy, I was like, thank God.
I'm just tossing out.
Only a few more years of stress.
I'm picking up stones from my glass house and I'm tossing them out because I'm just hoping that I don't have to be in that position. But yeah,
your next one will be a girl now. Way to
I'm
go.
just like, send my boys at 18 wherever. Go ahead, have a sleepover. You know,
it's weird, man, because people are like, yeah, I'm gonna be that hard ass dad, and I'm gonna intimidate that. No, you don't do that. I mean, you act like a normal fucking human being. It's part of nature. Any guy that wants to get mad at their daughter's boyfriend because whether they know that's going on or not is just full of shit. I mean, we all went through that phase where it's new, it's exciting. It's part of life. It's your dad. Your role as a dad is to make sure he's not a fucking deadbeat, right? B, he's taking care of your daughter and he's being a respectful guy, right? And C, that she's making smart decisions with her body to make sure that there's not unplanned events that can have serious life path consequences. And that's all you can fucking do, right? You don't need to scare the shit out of the guy, in my opinion. You don't need to tell him you're going to break his fucking kneecaps if he hurts your daughter, because they're 18 fucking years old in my mind. And I went through a lot of fucking relationships between 18 years old and when I finally met Jen and we got married and started a family. It's just fucking part of life, and you got to learn those hard lessons. So I'm not that dad that's going to intimidate another guy. I just ask him to be respectful and look after our daughter, and that's about it. You got a daughter. You have a daughter, don't you, Josh?
Yeah, I have two.
Oh, two. Well, I said.
Yeah. So my oldest is a boy, but then I got two daughters. But I'm really not worried about them. So my youngest one caught my middle daughter.
I was going to say, we referenced the last episode about Josh's extracurriculars, and I'm not worried about that.
Activities.
Not worried about that boy. Guns. That boy's going to be good. He's seen my collection.
I've come to the conclusion that my youngest daughter is going to be some type of leader, whether that's of a prison gang or company that's still determined, that's still up for grabs. But she caught her sister playing with her toys the other day. I'm not lying to you. She literally walks up. For people that aren't watching the stream, you need to view this on the stream. She walks up, looks around her shoulder, sees that she's playing with her toys, backs up, walks around the other way, grabs her ponytail, pulls it back, and goes, wham! Where'd you learn that?
Stealth.
Baby prison? What the hell?
I was just going to say our favorite Christmas movie.
So, yeah, I'm not worried about them because I'm pretty sure they'll beat the hell out of any guy. It seems like, especially the guys these days that are coming out, you know, these
that's the scary part, man.
Guys.
Well, it's not even non-manly. It's just like, it's not, there's no chivalry that I've seen.
No, yeah. And that's sometimes that's why we're going old school with my son. I know I've said it in previous episodes. That's why we're kind of going old school with our kids. You know, we're teaching them to be independent, self-reliant. We're teaching old school manners. stuff like that.
I
So
mean,
that's just
I
kind of how
was
we are.
taught to open the door for a lady, and sure, I did that throughout like
Mhm.
my dating. And my wife's like, "Well, you don't open the
Yep.
fucking door for me." When she sees this like 70-year-old guy
yeah.
open the door for his wife and shit, and I'm like, "Well, I don't know what the fuck to say," but I was still
Mhm.
raised that way, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well, but also, does she cook a dinner from scratch every
Well,
night?
no. I
Probably
cook
like that
more
old
than
lady
she
does.
does. So yeah, I understand
Okay,
there's
yeah.
been some role reversal in how things are done. But,
Oh, trust me, I'm in the same boat.
but yeah,
I'm the cook
I'm
in
all
my
about
house.
those traditional values of
Yeah.
of chivalry and being a gentleman and
Yeah.
respectful, and even
Yeah.
growing up I didn't always abide by that. I'm sure there were some times where I was just fucking asshole about things, but
Of course, if you're with your friends and certain things like that, but then there's the other times when, maybe you're around the parents and you do open the door, hold the door, stuff like that.
yeah,
Mhm.
because your dad's
Yeah.
giving you the fucking evil eye, like, what the fuck
Yeah.
you doing, son?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, my dad used to slap us in the back of the head, and we used to refer to them as brain dusters.
Yeah, I got called knucklehead a lot.
I'm pretty sure that's why I got a stutter now. So,
You said it, not us.
so to get us back on track, Jason, did you tell us if you have any holiday plans or what y'all's plans are?
I wanted to bring up this idea of, is there a certain point when you get to demand certain things based on the size of your crew, how many kids you have, or what your like status is with that? Like, do you start to demand that they come to you because you have kids, versus obviously, and in our scenario, I really kind of don't. I think my wife wants to move towards that, but I've mentioned in other episodes the size of my house, and like it's not really suited for that type of a gathering. Whereas my mom has just always done it. But is there a point where you start to do, like okay, we have the kids now, so we have to like change the venue? Like, when is it like a Game of Thrones for who hosts the Christmas at that point? Like,
I don't know.
You're
gonna make a move?
We lay down the law like right away. Like,
Sounds like
we laid down the law right away. As soon as we had kids,
Yeah.
we were like, we are not, because that was one thing I hated as a kid. I hated it because I remember me as a kid on Christmas morning, we would open gifts Christmas morning. Then right afterwards, we would load up in the car and have to go to my mom's parents' house to go open gifts. And we ended up spending all day there because we eat dinner with them. And so you never got to play with your Christmas toys. I hated that. So,
Dude,
and
wait,
my wife,
man, Emerson's ready to pass out by the time we leave our house. He's already fallen asleep on the way to Grammy's house, not even a mile down the road. And by the time we leave her house, like he don't want to play with anything. He needs a damn nap because he used so much energy with all the excitement that he's going through.
Yeah, he's at a Kool-Aid. He's going to be
yeah. Everything's still super magical. I mean, like like this morning when the first snow of the season for us, dude. He's a little, pardon my French, but he's a little bastard some mornings. I mean, just doesn't want to get dressed. I don't want to wait in the friggin' drop-off line because we missed the bus. But this morning I was like, man, it's bright as shit outside. What the hell? And I looked outside because we were supposed to get a dusting, which wasn't going to accumulate. And there's like 3/4 inches of snow on the ground. And so I was like, oh my God, Emerson is snowing. And like, he sprung out of bed, and dude, just seeing his like energy about stuff like that, like gives me energy to do shit, honestly. But yeah, he's totally in that, like, everything Christmas is still 100% magical to him. Yeah. Like, no kids around him have given a thought about the whole Santa situation. So it really is a super cool time to be a parent with him. He'll be 5 at the end of the month. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when. You delicately said that the Santa situation there. I don't know when the situation.
Leave it alone, Joe.
No, we already gave the disclaimer. There should be no kids listening.
Come on, I don't really did that. It's just the situation, and I don't know when the situation changed.
Turn it off. Turn it off, guys. Turn it off.
Nobody does, dude.
He's gonna break some news, right, Joe?
My worry is social media. I worry more about social media in the situation than I do about Bobby asshole kid at school. If you follow what I'm saying, right? I think social media will destroy that magic before any kid that my kid knows might.
Right. That and podcasts with dads in it.
No, we gave the disclaimer. If they chose not to listen or were spilling coffee on their crotch at that exact moment, we take no responsibility. We tried, but it's the situation is what we'll just refer to it as.
That's it.
But I think it's a perfect opportunity though, to use to be like SC. I'll just refer to him as SC. It's not a person. It's a spirit. It's a
not a tangible
spirit of the
not
holiday.
a tangible thing anyway.
Right.
I would say.
Right. So it's something you can now be SC. It's not just once a year. It can be anyone can be SC. So you can give a gift to someone. You can. It's a spirit of the holidays. It's that spirit of giving. It's that you can give someone that feeling that they once had when they were younger by just giving them a gift by someone you don't even know.
Yeah.
Like I had a buddy of mine who recently went through that situation. He's got like 6 kids. And he probably went through that situation with his last one, and now all 6 of his kids understand that SC is a feeling. It's something you can give, and so they pick random people on their block that they don't even know and just mysteriously leave them gifts.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's like No, I totally agree with that approach. Like once you get to the transition, right? But I don't know. I remember when I found out about the situation, I was like, oh, okay. But different kids, different strokes, right? Everyone's going to react differently, and I think that's more what I kind of meant by this topic, I guess, is keeping that side of the spirit alive. Like it never goes away, right? Even as an adult, you still get excited for Christmas,
right?
And the situation, right? So it's more about the either transitioning with a child or preventing that transition from happening, and that's tough, I think.
Yeah. It's tough, but
or do you prevent it? Is your kid way past where you were, and you're starting to be like, all right, well, what's going on?
Well, see, I feel like my parents never really had that talk with me. Like I just kind of put 2 and 2 together and figured it out. But I had a sister that's 3 years younger than I was, so I didn't ruin it for her.
Yeah. I
kept playing. I played along
for me. But I don't remember it being like such a vivid thing. I feel like from what I think I remember anyway, I remember him.
You probably had an idea.
I think,
but he confirmed it,
and I didn't want to believe it, so I think I extended it, almost like, no, he's wrong. Okay. Like it's still true, but then in the back of my mind, almost being like, no, oh wait, what does he say? Is it really? And then trying to, I think, figure it out. Like that's what I think. I still believed it because I didn't believe him because I thought he was an ass, right? So I didn't want to believe him, probably, right? So I was kind of still trying to believe in the situation. And then kind of, I don't know when it was.
At the same time, you probably went into like Rin Tin Tin mode, trying to figure out like if you were right or if he was right.
We get into like the parents' room and trying to find stuff, and probably found stuff you didn't want to find. And
like what's in our chat over
Joe.
We know where Joe's mind is at.
Full circle, Joe.
So mommy kissed.
I'm just gonna make an animated graphic that floats across the video of that.
So, first,
mommy was helping Santa with his belt.
So,
God,
mommy had
you better hope the kids tuned out at this point.
I think that what Joe said is fair, and I didn't have an older sibling that I didn't want to believe, but it was like at a certain point, my mom, it was really just my mom. My dad, I'm sure, had very little to do with the display on Christmas morning or whatever, but that she really did for a kid who, in my own mind, which I don't know if it really is true, like I wasn't given a whole lot of, like, we'd go to the store and I would get any type of gift throughout the year like she did. Christmas was a big to do. There was a lot of gifts, like because I was an only kid for a long time. Like that was something that I really, really cherished as a kid. So I didn't want to let that go, in a way, even though I knew at 9 or 10 years old, like I knew, but I didn't want to know. And it was sort of like my mom had to reluctantly kind of like share it, like, you're getting to an age here where I have to, like, I have to tell you, and you got to let it go, and I did have a younger sibling too, but I think that the magic of it still continues in a way if you really do appreciate like what your parents do or what they go through to create that, for you. There's a symbolism to Christmas. And then my parents would continue to give us, like, I mean, to this day, like my mom has my sister and myself go over. I'm 35 years old. Like I'll go over there and there'll be presents that are wrapped in my color, like my type of wrapping paper. And then my sister has a different type to differentiate. And my mom, like, my mom wants us to open presents like on Christmas morning, like we did when I was a kid. So then you don't have to give up on that. It just grows exponentially when you have your own kid and get to pass that down. But that's a middle class America thing. Like there's people that just, like, we've created a monster in Santa Claus where if people literally can't provide gifts to their kid, like they're robbing them of something. But Christmas is what you make it. It's a symbol. It's not a real thing.
That's funny you said created a monster, right? Because you've got let's see how to word this just in case. So you've got Santa Claus may bring Bobby down the street like a brand new $700 Xbox, right? But little Tina down the street gets maybe some clothes and a doll. And so that's become like a big Facebook debate. It's like, should Santa, does Santa bring all the gifts to all the kids, right? Or does Santa bring like one gift that's reasonable, and everything else is from wherever it comes from. That's been a huge debate, and my wife and I kind of struggle with that. So we try to keep it pretty pretty mild, I guess. Yeah.
So for us, what we do is that Santa does not bring any of the big gifts. Mom and Dad do all that.
Yeah.
The kids can ask Santa for one gift, and it has to be something he can make in his toy shop. That's it. That's what we do. So that way, someone else, well, okay, that's him. But Santa, this is what he made. Santa probably had to go buy that and then bring it. So we're not going to do that to Santa. Santa is going to make it in his toy shop. So that's usually, then they'll ask for like action figures and stuff like that. So stuff that can be made so that Santa can make it in a shop.
I like my stuff.
So we don't do.
So
but yeah,
that's good. That's good.
And that's what it's like. Our kids have gotten to the point now to where like they don't need toys. They don't need any more toys. So we've kind of started leaning towards stuff that they want, but it will help them learn, like books.
Yeah, I love
clothes,
educational stuff when we can find it.
Yeah, so we're really big on the educational stuff. And even if we do get them a game, it's an educational game. Like,
come on, Dad. They got to rot their brains out one time or another.
Well, we let them, but still, like, I'm trying to keep them up to time, but also I don't want tons of screen time, because I see that too many times.
Yeah.
Whenever we go out to dinner or go, there's kids just in front of the screen the whole time, and they're not they're not even talking with the other kids at the table. I remember when we used to go out to dinner, we talked with the other kids at the table because we couldn't join in the adult conversation. So, yeah. So.
Yeah. Different times, fellas. Different times.
I know, man. I know, brother.
Sweet. Anyone got closing thoughts before I close us out?
I think the most important thing, I'm sure there's dads that have, for whatever reason, they're not with their kids all of Christmas, or they work on Christmas, and and I work. Just coming home from a job like
Dad's worried about
Sunday.
providing too, man. Even if those things don't apply, I know that's heavy on some dads' minds right now.
That's part of it, but just enjoy the time you have with them. Really see it for what it is, because it's a gift every day.
Hot chocolate and marshmallows is a couple bucks, man, and spending that time with your kids can go a long way. So
yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, if you have a great spouse, though, Christmas is not just one set day. You know, and you can be like, hey, look, we're going to wait until Daddy gets home. You know, because trust me, I used to work nights. I know. So if you have a great spouse that backs you, that helps a ton too.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So because it takes two.
Yeah. Well, I think and it is. It's not, like you said, it's not just the day. I mean, I think it's, like we do the Advent calendars, right? In the morning. It's like every single morning. He's got the Advent calendars Paw Patrol right now. So every single morning he's been waking up, and like that's an exciting thing. That it's different, right? It's it's only this time of year, and we're not going to go onto a tangent of the elf situation. Maybe we'll save that for next time.
No,
we do not subscribe to that model in this household.
Yeah. So I think it's a whole season, like setting up the tree and listening to music. My son was dancing the other day in the living room. Like it is. It's just that it's a time where maybe you get to spend time with family a little bit more than you have in the past, hopefully. Obviously it depends on everybody's work situations, what they do for a career. I know for me, I make sure that, hey, I worked more last month, so I could take off more time this month,
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like that.
Yeah. Same here.
You just hope that everybody has those opportunities to, like you said, have marshmallows and hot chocolate with their kids and make it a memory, because at the end of the day, I don't know about you, but there's very few toys and gifts I remember getting, but I do remember opening stuff and hanging out and spending time with my family, my brothers and stuff like that.
I could tell you more about the activities that happen throughout Christmas Day and Christmas Eve and Christmas week. I could tell you more about those than I could tell you what I got in Christmas of 1992.
Exactly.
It really is about what you're doing with your kids, and I hope those that are super fortunate are finding ways to get back to their community, or finding some way to, help a family in need. But at the same time, reach out to your neighbors, reach out to your dad friends. And if you've got dad friends that this is a hard time for them, maybe they're like we said, they're not with their kids. Reach out to those dads. We've talked a lot about that on this podcast, and dads won't reach out for help, but when you have a dad friend that could use a friend to talk to. So you use this time of year as an excuse. Maybe you're not that outgoing, or you're both shy about talking about that kind of shit. But this is a good time of year just to let people know that you're there and can support them and help them. So, but again, it's not about extravagant gifts. Just that little bit of time, if you can make it happen, can be a world of a difference to a kid.
Yeah, we actually have an open door policy at our house. We extend it to our friends, like, hey, if you don't have family to spend with for the holidays, if you don't have a meal, you don't have to bring anything. You just show up and enjoy the fellowship with our family. Like we have our neighbor across the street. Her husband died 2 years ago, and she did Christmas Eve with her grandkids and all them. But on Christmas Day, she was all alone. We're like, hey, come over. You don't have to give the kids gifts, nothing, because we know that you enjoy our kids just as much, because our kids say hi to her all the time. She comes over. She had Christmas dinner with us. She watched the kids open gifts. She played with the kids. It was
Yeah.
great.
Sweet.
So yeah, that we have an open door policy here.
Nice.
So yeah, so
Cool.
Sweet.
that's what we do. So if y'all boys move to Texas, that's what it's like here.
Nice.
We're,
Better be like that everywhere.
and we have gun. It should.
Yeah.
It should. I think so, especially around the holidays because it's rough. Trust me.
So,
So,
all right. Well,
boys, I think
this
we
has been
beat this horse
this has
to
been
death.
a long one, but it's been a good one, man. It's brought back some good memories. But thank you guys.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
guys for hanging out. Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Whatever holidays you guys
Happy everything.
celebrate. Just spend some time with the family if you can make it work. Like I said, happy holidays from us on Time to Dad.
Yeah.
And we will do we have one more episode before the new year, or will it be the new year? This drops on
I
the
think we might squeeze in one
23rd.
more.
Yeah, I think we'll get one more in. All right. Well,
One more
in
in.
case we don't
Yep.
get that episode out because of holidays, Happy New Year if we don't see you guys before then. But thanks for hanging out with us. Like, subscribe, Facebook, hang out with us. We'll catch you guys next time.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Stop creeping out Nick's kids ranking bass. Knock it off.